Why don't you ever talk about the men that don't pay child support?
Because it's women like you who spread your legs for guys like that. Why don't you ever talk about the responsibility of women who choose irresponsible males to procreate with and then complain later when they're irresponsible?
No.
The women who have a one-nighter with a bartender or a guy on a motorcycle or a musician, and then you complain later on the guy's a deadbeat. He was a deadbeat to begin with.
Why nobody can ever talk to you because you don't let any
people talk to me all day long.
So women have the power to ruin a man's life. As a man, it's important to understand this. The faster you nail this into your head, the better. Men can lose a lot if they date the wrong women. And by a lot, I mean anything from their finances, anything from their mental health, custody battles, peace of mind, their own personal life in general, and so on. So a faster man understands this, the better. You know, he puts himself in a good place to try and avoid these kind of circumstances. Right? Because a lot of men right now who would agree with me are the men who actually are going through this. Because a lot of men right now would agree that, women can become devious once you cross them, or just if they feel some type of way, if things go south. She's not the same woman you met, man. A lot of men nowadays, they're in court, bro. They're fighting for their life. They're fighting to have their children. They're fighting for everything they've worked hard for. So that's why it's important to be selective, when you guys are dating these women. You can't just date the first woman that shows up. You gotta be selective and figure out if she's a proper woman for you or not. And most of the times you will never know, right? Until things go south, that's when the true colors show up. Alright, so in this video today we got more reactions. Make sure to click the like button, subscribe, and let's go.
I'm gonna tell you guys a story time of when I started dating an American influencer who came to Lagos for a few days, and I almost left Lagos to go move with her to America. So a few years ago, there was this American influencer who came to Nigeria with her mom because they were looking at the entertainment scene in Nigeria and wanted to do business. They happened to meet my uncle who was in the government and sponsored a lot of the entertainment events, right? That day, my mom happened to go meet my uncle who's her brother, and she met the girl and her mom. Now, the girl and her mom are from the same area I'm from, which is the South in America. So I'm from Atlanta, and they were from one of the other states in the South, right? My mom and the girl's mom start talking and connecting. Then eventually, my mom invites the girl and her mom over for dinner because she tells the girl's mom, hey, I have a son that's your daughter's age, so let them be friends and see what he can do for them, right? The next day, I'm chilling in my house. My mom comes to me and is like, look, I have this lady and her daughter coming, so can you stay for dinner? I'm like, Mom, I don't want to meet anybody's daughter. Me, I'm going out. She's like, hey, you should stay. You might be friends with her. So a few hours later, the girl and her mom come over. I'm sleeping, so my brothers and mom go downstairs to meet them. 5 minutes later, my brothers run to my room and wake me up. Yo, she's here. And I see their face, and they're just like, so I'm like, why are you guys so excited? They're like, you need to come downstairs. I'm like, why? They're like, the girl. I said, what happened to her? And they're just like this. Now, these are my younger brothers who are 10 years younger than me. So I'm just like, okay, maybe they're bluffing. Maybe it's a fine girl they like. So I eventually wake up, go downstairs. As soon as I walk downstairs, me and the girl lock eyes, and we're staring at each other for a good 10 seconds. Meanwhile, her mother is there, my mother is there, one of her friends is there, and her cousin is with her. But we ignore everybody and we're just staring at each other. It was like the love was just connecting with each other. So eventually, I got played cool. So we all have dinner together. Everything is going well. Then her mom is just like, yo, they haven't been out in Lagos yet. My mom's like, why don't you take them out tonight? So I take them to Rufus and B at the arcade. We have a great night. Then we go back to the hotel. We smoking, drinking, and catching up. The whole time, the American influencer girl and I, we are just talking the whole night. We ignore her friend and cousin. We just go to our little corner, and we've been talking the whole night till about 2 in the morning. I get her number. I'm like, all right, I'll see you this week for sure. The next day, I find out she goes out with my mom because my mom invited her to her school. My mom takes her out for the day. By the end of the day, my mother calls me, what did you do? I'm like, what do you mean, what did I do? That girl has been talking about you non-stop all day. I say, eh? She said, be careful, Sha. You know Americans know how to love. I'm like, fair enough. Then the girl calls me in the evening. She's like, oh, I've been thinking about you. I've been talking about your mom with you and all that. Inside, I can't lie to you. I'm like this. They see guys play cool, like, oh, okay, what's up? We're gonna see this week, right? Change a date the next day to go clubbing, right? Because I'm gonna go to one of my boys' events. So the next day, she comes out with me. We have a great time. But you can tell she stands out because she's like one of those American baddies. This is an American influencer who I'm not gonna snitch about because I don't kiss and tell. All my guys are looking when we go to the club the next day like, should I go? why did you meet this girl? I said, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. But she's cool people, she has fun. Then we go back to my cousin's place. We end up talking all night. And that's when she showed me who she really was. Because when she told me she's an influencer, I didn't give a damn about all that. I'm like, okay, who are you for you? But then she shows me she's been on Love and Hip Hop. She shows me the music videos she's been on. She's been on some of my favorite artists' music videos. In fact, one of the favorite artists that she was talking about was Chris Brown. That she even almost called Chris Brown saying, oh, let's talk to Chris. I said, hey, don't call him. Because what am I going to say to Chris Brown? Oh, I'm with your friend. The next day, she comes and stays with me for the next 2 days. After she stayed with me now, like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm loved up. The day she's leaving, she invites me to her hotel. I go see her, I'm helping her pack. Then she's like, you know what? Why don't you come out to Cali with me? I was this close, because she was going to book tickets for me. So I'm like, I can just go and start a new life. I'll just go into Hollywood, take this influencer thing seriously. But I couldn't do it, yo. I couldn't do it. My heart wasn't fully in it. And I explained to her, obviously it hurt her, it hurt me. And she cut me off after, which is fair enough because it was quite intense. But yeah, your boy could have been living a whole new life in Hollywood right now if I said yes.
Bro, my question to you is, why didn't you do it? What was your excuse for denying her request? You should have just done it. You could have changed your life. You could have been in a better place. So all you're left with is this story to tell. You might as well just write a book about it now, because what are you gonna do with this story? It's kind of useless, So I think if the chance had presented itself, you should have just taken it. Now you could have been telling us something like, yo, this is how you came to America or something, or this is how you became a millionaire or something. I was waiting for that punchline, but I didn't get it. So this story, I don't know what are we supposed to get from this? Yeah, you could have had it, but you didn't. You could have moved to LA, but you didn't. Like, come on, bro. You screwed up, This is those cases where men are just on their feelings, They're reminiscing the good old times when if they had made a certain move, their life would have been in a different position right now. So you could have, you should have. We don't operate in those, My thing would have been like, you definitely had a chance. If this is actually true, first of all, because second of all, we don't know if this is true or not, if he's talking from his ass or not. But if it is true, you should have went along with it. Now you could have been telling us how it's been, I was waiting to hear you have like 5 kids now, you're in San Francisco, you've been living here for like 10 years or something like that, you know what I mean? But you just finished the story like you could have, you should have, like, I don't know, man. The ending was kind of whack.
Look very closely. This is the face of a man who's just got his girlfriend stolen from him in front of 1,000 people and then seen by millions on the internet. Look at the lady next to him. She's giving him that look like, are you gonna have that? This is an experience that I wouldn't even wish on my worst enemy. Look at this new angle, man. You can't even do anything in this situation. Look, the guy, oh, this is so peak. When you look at the other angle, it just makes things 1,000,000 times worse. What can you even do in that situation? Deep the worst case scenario, the guy is there, he brought his girl, tickets that he bought for both of them, right at the front, thinking that they're gonna get the best experience. She's definitely got the best experience of her life, and bro is just there. I can't believe it. But all I'm saying is, I hope everyone can recover from this situation and have a good time.
Yo guys, if you guys don't know, this video has been trending a lot lately, this past couple of days, right? This man, he took his girlfriend to a what's the guy's name? I can't even say it. Lehi. Yeah, basically took her to this rapper's, whatever, singer's performance, and he had his girl snatched right in front of him by the performer, by this rapper, whatever, and his girlfriend is over there, like long story short, man got disrespected right in this concert, pretty much, and this goes back to what I said couple videos back. I told you guys, you guys are taking your woman to these concerts and you're expecting like nothing's gonna go down. You're expecting like, you're treating her, you're buying the tickets, and you're getting disrespected, bro. This is your fault. It's not her fault, it's your fault. You brought her to this environment. And yo, these performers, bro, they have no chill. They would just snap it right beneath your paws, bro, and you won't be able to do anything. They got security, they got the whole room. Like, you're gonna be looking like a fool. Like, if this man right here decided to go and throw hands with this performer right here, you know how ridiculous he would look. He would make the headlines, bro, you know. And that's the thing, guys. If you guys respect your relationship, you respect your women, whatever, you still want to be with them, you still want to keep them around, do not take them to these concerts, because you're going to get disrespected like crazy. And on top of it, it's like, your partner, if she even agrees to go up on stage, this tells you exactly what she thinks about you. She doesn't care about you, bro. You know, that's a huge level of disrespect. So I don't know, you tell me, man. I see this video has been trending a lot this last couple of days, you know, and I guess according to the girlfriend's side, she's been with him for over 7 years. He hasn't even put a ring on it, and I guess she's justifying what she did, you know, but it doesn't really add up, right? So if you want to get violated and you want to get your girlfriend snatched, take her to the next concert near you. Go take her to a Drake. Look what's gonna happen, bro. And on top of it, she's just gonna come back and tell you she did nothing wrong. You know, she was just having fun. Oh man, I can see the pain in my man's face on this video, bro. And I feel bad for him, bro. Truly.
You hesitant to get into another like real romantic relationship? Because
wasn't looking, but damn, man, like it just found me.
Where'd you meet her?
At a bar, watching the Super Bowl. I shouldn't have been there, and she shouldn't have been there.
Why shouldn't you have been there?
I wanted to watch the Patriots in my own apartment in Vancouver, but a friend of mine was like, dude, I got a quiet place for us. Come out, food, drink, no problem. So we watched the game, and then the table sitting right across from us, this group of 5 people walked in, a couple guys, a couple girls, and man, I stopped watching the game. I didn't even know it was over.
So you see this beautiful woman sitting there. She's with her friends.
Yep. So I get up to leave, and one of her friends comes over and is like, can I get a picture? And finally, I got the nuts to be like, only if I can get that girl's number. So I got a picture with her, and then she brought my wife to be over. We have our first fan photo, which we hang proudly in where we hang our hats. It's awesome. We can see our like.
And you asked her out?
I asked her for her number.
Yeah.
And she gave me her number, and I didn't wait like the 2 days. I left the restaurant, and on my walk home, I was like, man, it was so nice to meet you. You're beautiful. I'd like to get to know you more. If you have any free time coming up, I'll make time for you. She's like, you want to go out this weekend? I said, sure.
You know what that is? That's a man who has no time for games. How many years did you know her before you popped the big question?
1 year, and I would have done it in 3 months.
Except it would have been weird, right? Like
might have been a little weird.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she knew right away, too.
I don't want to speak for her, but she didn't say no.
John Cena, damn, like, I mean, I wasn't really even gonna expect you to have any girl problems at all, bro. So, I mean, you telling me this, it's like, yo, what did I expect? I mean, am I supposed to clap for you? I mean, you're John Cena, of all people. At the end of the day, man, congrats on your wife and everything, but this goes on to show, man, when you guys just reach that level, right, where you're separated from the norm, right? Let's say, like, I'm talking about like your A-listers, your celebrity, you have a name for yourself, you have clout, you have whatever, and you can access these places where normal people can't. You know, you're more likely to have a shot at meeting people on the same level as you. So, I mean, I don't know the history about his ex-wife or his current wife, whatever, but I mean, she could have easily have gotten flown there, bro. She could have just known somebody who invited her to this game, and now, boom, her life changed for the better. She's married to John Cena. Imagine that, bro, you know? And matter of fact is, I'm actually wondering, you see, John Cena was approached by a fan over here and asked if they could take a picture with him, and he said, only if I can get her number. Like, you're John Cena of all people. Why do you have to use this gimmicky line? Like, you should have literally just go and put your hand out, shake her hand, and ask for the number. You would have gotten it. You know, that's the power with clout. That's the power of being known, right off the bat. You don't play on the same rules, right? Like, if John Cena have to use a pickup line to go on a date with a regular girl, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Like, you shouldn't even need pickup lines. You should just introduce yourself. You should just go there and do a quickie little smile, and you'd have got it. But anyways, man, that's good for you. At least the stars aligned for you, John Cena. I would have thought you would at least met your wife at a ring or something, you know, some wrestling ring.
So you telling me you in a whole relationship, your boyfriend probably paid for your tickets to the concert, and your favorite artist asks you to come on stage, and you come on stage and embarrass that man? In reality, all that did was show how much she did not respect that man and or that relationship. Because there's no way you can convince me and tell me that she has respect for that man and or the relationship. And the worst part is that artist bent her over on stage and was back shots on stage in front of everyone, and he just sat there. I even think security was laughing at him. To be honest, I think he was just better off walking away and understanding that he took an L when it comes to this dating game. We always want to talk about how men can embarrass women. Roles can be reversed. Women have been embarrassing men for years, and some men deal with it and some men don't. And the men that don't deal with the embarrassment, for some reason in 2024, y'all started to try to shame them and call them sassy and or they're not secure enough for you. The end of the day, that woman risked her whole entire relationship for what, 2 minutes of enjoyment?
Yeah, this is just addressing that 2 videos back I just talked about, you know. Yeah, the Omalay incident where this man basically took his girlfriend to this concert, paid for it and all, and Omalay just called the girl up on stage and basically started bending her over and dancing with her and all this and doing all these provocative moves. And you know, it's a little bit, it's almost as if he was throwing jabs at the girl's boyfriend, like, yo, look, what are you gonna do about it? You know, it's a little bit disrespect. And I'm saying this, men will disrespect you like this, especially if they know they have a little bit power, more power than you know, because Omalay could have gotten anyone from this crowd, right? From anyone from the audience. Why did he have to pick the girl that was under my man's arms like that? You know, he did that on purpose. It's kind of like, yo, what are you gonna do about it? You can't do nothing, you know. And my man's over here on his feelings, right? He's probably regretting having bought the tickets for her and having brought her there in the first place. Like, imagine that, bro. You know, you spend all your money, you spend another set on tickets to fly there, bro, and you get in and you have the front row seats, and bro, now you get your woman snatched. Oh my God, bro, you're probably gonna be feeling some type of way, bro. Omalay gotta watch his back, because my man here probably has a vengeance. And I guarantee you they probably broke up right after this concert, you know. My man probably stormed out and quickly went to his house, bro. He ditched this girl. At least I hope so, you know. Because, like, I mean, I wouldn't imagine he'll be there still smiling through his teeth and, you know, high-five her for going up on stage. No, bro, unless he lost his mind.
Why don't you ever talk about the men that don't pay child support?
Because it's women like you who spread your legs for guys like that. Why don't you ever talk about the responsibility of women who choose irresponsible males to procreate with and then complain later when they're irresponsible?
No.
The women who have a one-nighter with a bartender or a guy on a motorcycle or a musician, and then you complain later on the guy's a deadbeat. He was a deadbeat to begin with.
Why nobody can ever talk to you, because you don't let anybody...
People talk to me all day long. You can't talk to me.
No, I'm trying to talk to you and you're talking over.
Dear, don't tell me I have to do a radio show. I've been doing this for 25 years. I don't need your help.
Oh, okay. Let me. Can I please just say this? I was married once before, okay? Mm-hmm. My husband and I had a child together.
Right.
After I was tired of him beating me for 2 years, I left him.
Really? But why did you tolerate it for 2 years? Can you tell me why you tolerated being beaten for 2 years? I'd like to hear about this.
My answer to that is because I was young and stupid.
Okay, I agree with you.
There you go.
You were stupid. No doubt about it. And now what are you going to complain that he doesn't pay child support? A guy who beat you for 2 years? Imagine that. The guy is irresponsible.
Right.
He beat me for 2 years, and now that deadbeat doesn't pay.
So why is it my
There's your big concern. Now we see why you're so upset about this. You chose a manifestly irresponsible, violent individual to procreate with. Then you're amazed that the guy doesn't send you child support.
He didn't beat me until
you're still, you know what, dear? You were young and stupid. Now you're old and stupid. I mean, you're still stupid.
Oh, my God. You are
still stupid. You expect a guy who beat you for 2 years now to suddenly become responsible.
I cannot even believe
You're insane.
It is unbelievable.
Yo, this radio host has a point, though, right? Like, I mean, these women out here, they'll be choosing men, right? And these men may be all kinds, you name it. They may be deadbeats, assholes, you know. They're trashy, they're rude, they're the worst kind of breed out there, bro. And these women will date them, bro. And a lot of them would even have children with them and all. But then later on, after like 10 plus years, they get out of this relationship. All of a sudden, they're the victim, right? They're blaming the man. They're saying he was abusive, he was punching me, he was this, he was controlling, you know, emotionally abusive, mentally abusive, whatever, you know. In the end, who chose that man? Who forced you? Did somebody come and put a gun in your head and just was like, yo, marry this guy or else you're dead? No, You chose them yourself and you sticked it out, right? So a lot of women will do this kind of things and they'll stick into this relationship for years and years and years. And then later on, all of a sudden, they're the victim. But yet they're the ones that chose the man in the first place. So you got yourself into that situation. Like, why don't you have a little bit of accountability? You know, why don't you look at it as your fault as well, not just his fault? Like, he may be everything you're labeling, but at the end of the day, who chose him? None other than you, right? So I mean, that really beats my mind, bro. Like, how they can stay here and still victimize themselves, but yet they don't look at the fact that they're the ones that made that decision in the first place. And on top of it, it's like, okay, I get it. You meet somebody on the first time, right? They show you different colors, and later on, after the whole honeymoon phase is all over, true colors come out, for sure, fair enough. But at the end of the day, it's like, once you start seeing those colors coming out, you should be out the door quick times. How can you tolerate it for 10 plus years? And then later on say, oh yeah, it was his fault. Well, you stayed for 10 years. So it's your fault as well.
I'm in a 4-year relationship. Started when I was in 20 and she was 19. Basically, long story short, we started the relationship. I was pretty well off. I was 20 years old, had a salary of $90K, was doing mortgage. COVID happened, mortgage took a tank, lost my job, had a lot of investment income, about 40 grand, and I became 21. Decided I can drink alcohol now, and became an alcoholic. I got pissed drunk a lot, and I'd wake up, where the fuck am I? My girlfriend, however, was always there. I feel like she really showed her loyalty. There'd be times where she'd clean me up from the throw up, and it was really bad. I even lost a tooth, and she was still there. She's still here. And I picked myself up, third year goes by, and I got a job. Job ended up scamming me after a year. I lost 20K. Credit got shot down from 770 all the way to 430. Terrible. And I have more debt from there. She's still here.
Okay, man, like, yo, you're in a 4 years relationship. Okay, I get it. Your woman's been there for you, right? She's been solid since day one, right? You went through your ups and downs. She's still stuck around. That's good, man. That means you met a proper one, right? You're the only exception to the rule here. But at the end of the day, it's only been 4 years. You know, I think true relationships, they're tested within time. So not until you guys been together for 30, 40 plus years, you can tell me that she's seen all sides of you, that she's actually a proper woman. Like, it's only been 4 years. 4 years ain't long. There's a reason why she's sticking it with you. Maybe she can see some potential in you. Maybe she sees you're going to become somebody. Or maybe she also has her own personal issues of her own and she doesn't feel comfortable being alone and she's relying on you. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I can say you either got a pretty solid partner, which, you know, you hit the jackpot. But at the same time, it's like 4 years ain't that long, right? So it's not even been a decade yet. You gotta wait and see, right? Because I'm saying, man, these women, true relationships, true whatever marriage, they're tested within time, right? Now, this time here hasn't been really long enough for you to truly know if she's actually the one or not, if she's actually a solid, proper one or not. Because let me tell you, you don't know what's going on her side. Maybe in her mind, she's already had enough. You know, she's already tolerated, but in her mind, she's like, yo, boy, if you have one more fall down or you have one more problem, I'm out the door. You don't know that, right? Maybe she was able to tolerate those past ones, but it's like, now it's like you're on the last straw, right? She may be telling her mind like, yo, if he screws up one more time, I'm out this door quick time. So you don't know that. You could be easily giving her credit right now, right? But you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow you could relapse back and become an alcoholic again, and she could just leave you, you know, because it always happens. So it's not until you guys are like 50, 60, you know, the true relationships are the ones that are, you know, you find people that have been married for over 60 to 70 years, you know, even anywhere from like, I'd say actually 30 to 60 years is proper, because these couples, that means they've known each other, they know each other inside out. And the woman that stood by that man, that means she has seen all sides of him, right? All the problems, she's been there. There was no problem that has been strong enough to break them apart, right? So that's how you gotta test it. You guys have been here, meanwhile, 4 years. 4 years ain't nothing, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I mean, she's showing good qualities. So, I mean, yeah, definitely you should invest in that. Hopefully nothing bad happens. And hopefully she's the right one for you.
You, come. No, not that guy, you, the hair, you find your time. Please, drop out the curtain now. let's do it. Bro, you have to chill. Your time will come. Me too, I was heartbroken. No alarm, no alarm.
This is so sad. Oh my god. What is boyfriend? I feel so sad. Oh my god.
This is another video that's poking fun at that Omalay concert, man. I guess I know it's a little bit of a skit, but that's probably what happened, bro, you know? The man was vibing with his girl at this concert, and then boom, she gets snatched, and then my man probably had his phone up too, he's recording, he's like, oh yeah, there go my girl, there she is on stage for everybody to see, oh yeah, you know, and then after a while, he's just starting to realize, like, wait a second, she's a little bit extra. She's there for a little bit extra longer than she should be. You know, she's supposed to only be there for 5 seconds. Well, why is she there for 10 minutes? Well, what's going on backstage? Wait, what's going on? You know, I mean, you can imagine what's going on over here, you know. If I was this girl's man, this girl that disrespected him, I mean, okay, granted, she didn't do it intentionally, but that's still disrespect because she could have rejected Omalay's advances towards her, right? If she was called upstairs, she could have said, no, I got my man here. That's how the true woman would say, you know, she's like, I can't do that, I'm locked in. But this woman just showed like, yo, you know what, I'm single at this moment, I don't care about him, here, bring me upstage, you know. So at the end of the day, if I was this girl's man, I would have just walked out the door, bro. There's no reason for me to be there. What am I gonna do? Take a picture of my girl disrespecting me on stage with her favorite rapper or whatever? What am I getting out of it? Matter of fact, everybody now is gonna be looking at me and laughing at me. I'm the clown right now. People don't even care now anymore about the concert. Now they're looking at me. I'm the entertainment. I'm making everybody here laugh now. I'm the center of this joke. Why would I want that? I would just exit, forget her. That's what he should have done. Right after this, he should have just left, deleted her number, act like he's single, like he doesn't know her no more. Because yo, you got disrespected right there, bro. You got disrespected. You know, I don't know how you can tolerate this. Like, I mean, I don't know how you guys can still go back into the same roof together after all this happened, bro. I mean, I don't care what you did to her. I don't care what her excuse was to go up on this stage. You didn't deserve that at all, you know. If you guys had broken up and you guys were taken 2 weeks apart and she went to a concert with her friend or whatever, she was called on stage, fair, she had a point, right? She was single at the moment. But yo, you're telling me she came here with her man and she's called on stage and yeah, she still goes disrespecting you like this? Jesus.
I used to have a problem with entertaining guys that I was not physically attracted to, but I just really liked their personality, and it never really worked out for either of us, especially them, and then I felt like a really horrible person. Anyways, so I finally dated a guy that I was kind of physically attracted to, which is crazy saying out loud, but honestly at the beginning I had to convince myself that he was cute, but then I really believed it and I thought he was the hottest guy in the world and I was so in love. And I literally prayed to God, like, please don't send me anyone unless I'm physically attracted to them, and if it doesn't work out, rip them out of my life and do not give me the option to let them stay, because if the option is left up to me, I will give you a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th chance. Take all the chances, take everything. I love you. So that relationship lasted a year. It didn't work out. First 6 months he was an awesome guy. Last 6 months I started picking up the bill and he was just not doing great as a boyfriend. Anyways, God ripped him out of my life, aka he broke up with me and did not give me the choice of working it out because he was 22 and he wanted to be single in his prime years, I guess. So I was like, great, this is so great. And my grandma told me, Kaylee, you are destined to marry a guy 20 years older than you because guys your age just can't keep up and you need to stop dating guys in their 20s. And I was like, Grandma, what the hell? How do you come up with this stuff? You're a fucking genius. So I'm gonna look for that. Anyways, I get sucked into a relationship with a guy who I'm not attracted to, and he's 24, and he ended up being bipolar schizophrenic, and it only lasted 3 months. Glad it was short-lived, but holy shit, the path was here, and I was all the way over. I missed the mark on that one. Anyways, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Europe for a month, and I'm gonna find the love of my life in Europe, and I'm just gonna go there by myself with absolutely no plan, and hope that I just run into someone on the metro and fall in love. Because American boys want to be the woman in the relationship, and I want to be the woman in the relationship because I'm a fucking woman in a relationship. Hello, I want the princess treatment. The fuck. And so I go to Europe by myself for a month, literally alone. I don't speak any of the languages. I don't speak Italian. I don't speak French. I don't know. Yeah, I just went. And I ended up meeting this really hot guy. He was like super tall, tan, sexy, great body, brown curly hair, like had a really cool accent. We went to dinner. We go back to my Airbnb. We start hooking up. He's a horrible kisser. I'm like, that's one thing I can't let slide. Like, you can be an axe murderer and I will let it slide. But, like, if you're a bad kisser, babes, the door is over there. Like, please see yourself out. I can't do this. Anyways, I had a great time in Europe, though. Didn't meet the love of my life, but had so much fun. And then I come home and I'm, like, not looking for love. I'm just honestly given up at this point. And I was super busy, like, moving into my own apartment and stuff and whatever. This really sexy DILF DMs me on Instagram, wants to take me on a date. And I was like, holy shit. My grandma was so right. Like, he's almost 20 years older than me, and I'm just, like, obsessed, like, in love. We schedule a date. He cancels last minute because he gets hurt in a motorcycle accident and ends up in the ER. I was like, oh my god, are you okay? But, like, send me pictures or you're literally lying. Just kidding, I didn't say that. But anyways, we never rescheduled the date. I kind of forgot about him, and then a month rolls by. It's New Year's. He randomly pops into my head, so I text him. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm at this house party, like, you should come. So I go. And we hit it off. We had a great time, like, great conversation. He's so sexy in person. Like, oh, my God. And so I end up spending the night at his house. And we don't do that, but we do, like, cuddle. And he's so much bigger than me. And I'm just, like, I feel like a little, oh. And he's a great kisser. So I'm like, fuck, yes. Like, I'm literally going to have your babies. And we're going to live together for the rest of our lives until eternity. And we, like, get breakfast the next morning. We had a great time. And then we're, like, texting all week. We both kind of got sick, and then he invites me to an event and then cancels last minute because he's still not feeling well. And I'm like, whatever, same. And then a few days roll by, we're feeling better. He invites me to a Lakers game, and I'm so excited. Like, seriously, so excited to see him. I just want to jump on him and, like, sit on his face and ride it into the sunset. And then he ends up canceling last minute on that and, like, strings me along all day, like, waiting for him to tell me, like, what time I should come. And then apparently he has, like, a family emergency and, like, cancels the whole thing, and he seems super apologetic. Like, he feels so bad. Like, he really wanted to see me, da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, yeah, I believe you. Like, I buy it. Like, I'll buy anything you sell me. Like, literally take my card. Like, I believe you. And so then he feels really bad. So a few days later, which yesterday, he was supposed to come over to my place. And so I clean up my entire apartment. I fucking washed my sheets and my pillowcases. Like, I mopped the floors. I scrubbed the bath. I cleaned, okay, for the first time in a long time. And anyways, an hour before he's supposed to come over, he texts me hi. So I'm like, hi. And I'm thinking he's gonna say, like, I'm gonna come over soon, you know, da-da-da. And then an hour rolls by after he says hi. And I'm like, oh, here's my address, by the way. Another hour goes by. I'm like, okay. 6 hours go by. It is now 11 p.m. and I'm alone in my apartment. Like, I'm just gonna go to bed. And then he calls me. And I'm like, hey, you, what's up? And he basically tells me that he left his phone in the pocket of his jacket, which his drunk friend wore, and then left, and then he didn't know where his phone was, and apparently he tore up his entire house looking for it, tried to log in on Instagram to, like, DM me, but it needed a two-factor authentication app, and it wasn't working, and he was, like, going crazy, and then he finally got his phone back, and it was dead, and then he just plugged it in, and it just turned on, and I'm the first person he called, and he feels so bad, and da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, oh my god, why do you have to flake? Because my dad was the biggest fucking flake, so it brings up a lot of childhood feelings of trauma for me. My dad would literally, like, say he was gonna come to my birthday party, and so, like, all the kids at my birthday party would be playing, and I would be sitting there staring at the door like, and he's gonna come in right and he's gonna come and he would never show up. He would also, like, tell me that he was going to pick me up early from school and take me to Wild Rivers, and, like, he was going to get me before lunchtime, and we were going to go get McDonald's, and I would tell all my friends, I'm going to the water park today, and my dad's getting me early, and then lunchtime would roll around, and my friends would be like, you're a liar, and I'd be like, no, I'm hungry, like, can I please have half your sandwich? And he would never show up, and then he would call, like, a week later and be like, baby, I'm so sorry, like, all this stuff happened to me, and, like, this happened, and then that happened, and, like, and I'll just be like, it's okay, daddy, I love you, like, when am I gonna see you again? I miss you. So, yeah, I hate people that flake. It's, like, the worst thing you could possibly do, because I really hype myself up, and I get so excited. I'm, like, fantasizing about, like, what we're gonna do, and, like, and then my heart is just completely crushed. So that's my dating life right now. What about you? And also, honestly, like, I think I'm gonna die happily alone at this point. Like, it's not looking good.
Yo, this girl's dating life is actually a comedy, man. It's actually hilarious, you know, and nothing is working for you, boy. Like, it's actually funny, the fact that she even went to Europe and she met a man who was literally her type and everything, just because he couldn't kiss, bro, all of a sudden she disqualified him, you know. I guess you ain't meant to be dating. I think you're meant to be like a nun or something. I think you're meant to be single for life, you know. And the funniest thing was actually that older man that her grandma said she needs to start dating older men, whatever, because all these boys her age don't know what they want, you know. Fair, that's a good point. But at the end of the day, that older man was even playing games with you. You know, he flopped on you like, what, 2-3 times, and you were still eating crumbs out of his hand. You were still believing him. He gave you outrageous stories. Like, at that point, you should realize that he doesn't want to hang out with you. You know, he's just making excuses not to see you. Because, I mean, how many excuses would you take? He gave you at least 10 excuses, and you were still believing him. You know, so I think it's your fault. You also don't know how to choose proper partners, you know. It can't be all the men's fault. It has to be your fault. There's something you're also not doing right. You're attracting all these people that are not your type, you know. So I think maybe you should take a break from the dating industry or the dating whatever field for a bit, you know. Focus on yourself. Ask yourself what you really want, because you're just going for anything that you think you want, but it turns out not to be it, you know.
This woman, she's a freshman in college. Let's call her Ryder. So one day, she's walking home from her friend's place through the park, and that's when a man jumps out and attacks her, and he does something to her that I can't say, but it starts with an R. And then the guy runs away, and police can't find him. Now, a few months later, Ryder is walking down the street, and she just so happens to run into him. This guy. His name is Broadwater. So she calls police arrest him, he goes to trial, they use hair analysis to tie him to the crime scene, and he's eventually sentenced to prison. Years later, Ryder writes a memoir about her experience in the park that day, and it gets published. The book is called Lucky, and it sells over 1 million copies, and it launches her career as a professional author. A few years after that, Ryder finishes writing a second book, and this book is called The Lovely Bones, and it blows up too, selling over 10 million copies. Then Peter Jackson gets involved and makes it into a movie starring Mark Wahlberg, and that movie is very successful. In fact, the movie is so successful, it catches the attention of this guy, Timothy. Now, Timothy owns a production company, and he wants to turn Ryder's first book into a movie, Lucky. So Timothy gets the rights, and he funds the movie, and he starts developing it, and Victoria Pedretti from You is supposed to star in it, and it's going to be a huge hit. I mean, everything is going great. Until Timothy starts researching the book so they can properly turn it into a movie. And he notices a lot of things in this story aren't adding up. So what's not adding up? Well, let's back this up a bit. Broadwater's arrested, he goes to trial, they use hair analysis to tie him to the crime scene, and eventually he's sentenced to prison. Broadwater's in prison for 16 years, and he gets out right around the same time Lucky is first published. And this whole time, he has claimed he's innocent. He even appeals to get his conviction overturned, but his appeals get rejected. Even after he's out of prison, he appeals, still rejected. He pays to take a polygraph, he passes, but that doesn't help the appeals, and he's still an ex-convict. And of course, now he has to register as a schmex offender, so he has trouble getting a job, and he doesn't have a lot of friends. Now eventually he meets a nice woman and they get married. And she wants kids, and he does too. But he refuses to have them because of the stigma they would have to face having a dad with that on his record. So he doesn't have kids. Now back to Timothy. So Timothy is researching the book, and things in the story aren't adding up. Like when police ask Ryder to pick her attacker out of a lineup, she picks this guy, who's allegedly a plant, when Broadwater is actually this guy, and there's a lot of little stuff like that. So Timothy says, nah, I can't fund this movie anymore. And he refuses to continue funding the project, and they fire him. But he's become so invested in this case, he actually hires a private investigator to look into it. The private investigator then investigates and turns everything they find over to Broadwater's attorneys. These new attorneys, they re-examine the case, and they find a lot of stuff. Like that hair analysis has since widely been discredited as junk science, stuff like that. And they end up filing a motion to overturn Broadwater's conviction. And eventually, a judge agrees to hear the case, and after 40 years of fighting, the conviction is finally overturned. So then, Ryder, of course, posts a written apology to Broadwater saying that she will forever be sorry. The publisher stops publishing the book, the movie's no longer in production, and Broadwater sues the state of New York for taking 16 years of his life away. Ultimately, the state settled with him for $5.5 million. And good for him. While Timothy and his production company are now making a documentary about Broadwater and his story called Unlucky. It's currently in development. And just to be clear, they concluded that Ryder had been assaulted that day, just not by Broadwater. And all this happened in Syracuse, New York, so shout out to New
Now
York.
guys, this last video here, this is a clear proof of what I meant when I told you that women can destroy your life. You know when I said this at the beginning of the video, that's exactly what I was talking about. You know, women ruin men's life. And men can lose a lot if they date the wrong type of woman. Now in this case here, this man didn't date this woman. He just happened to be at the wrong place, wrong time, you know. He was in prison for something he didn't do and nobody refused to ever listen to him. And this woman here on the other end, she's making all this money, she's getting her name out, you know, with some story that he didn't even, she put the story based on him, but he didn't even do anything. Imagine having your life ruined like that and you only get a 5.5 million settlement. Like, how does that even make any sense, man? Like, you spend years behind bars, you know how much horror story goes in prison, bro? You know how much stuff you'd have to endure? And to come out and still have a sane mind and not even lose yourself behind the cell. And at the end, you're just awarded 5.5 million. Like, that's gonna be enough for what you have to go through. This is what I mean, man. Women out there, bro, you gotta watch out, because a woman out there can ruin your life. As a man, especially, you gotta be cautious. Anytime you're with the wrong type of woman, or anytime you're just at the wrong place, wrong time, dealing with the wrong type of female out there, bro, the law is designed to protect women for sure, but at the end of the day, trust me, everything's against you. All right, that's why you got to be smart about it. So for all those men out there who are, you know, in some kind of toxic relationship with a woman, I tell you, be careful, because you don't know what's coming your way. Because when these women decide to switch up on you, when they decide to take it further, you're gonna see how much you're gonna suffer. But anyways, yeah, that's the video. Click the like button, subscribe, Papi in the house. Peace.